Today on eNEWS, different strokes for different folks. How students are preparing for finals. How practice makes perfect for students in 3 Lethbridge College programs. And overcoming a cruel disease that doesn't discriminate.
Hello and welcome to eNEWS. I'm Megan Williams.
And I'm Tanya Plain Eagle, and here's today's top story. Classes are wrapping up at post-secondary institutions across Alberta, including Lethbridge College. Stress levels may be high for some students as they look ahead to final exams and projects. Cole Swear is standing by with a look at how students have been preparing for crunch time.
Well, Tanya, with the end of the winter semester coming up close, I had a chance to talk with international students alongside other Lethbridge College students to find out how they've been preparing for final exams. The sounds of keyboards typing can be heard throughout Lethbridge College as the end of the semester looms closer. Although, as preparation for the end, students are also looking to manage their time as they prepare for final exams. International student Eduardo Sonson is in his second year of marketing and says this time of year comes down to setting priorities.
I'm always focusing on studying, doing my assignments. Sometimes I have to prioritize some classes, but I always try to prepare for everything the way I'm supposed to.
Having originally moved to Lethbridge from Brazil, Sonson says this time of year can be especially challenging for international students.
I think it's a big change for any international student. It's a completely new culture, completely new language for some, for those who doesn't speak English.
However, no matter where you're from, the importance of studying for final exams is obvious. I had a chance to talk with other Lethbridge College students to find out how they get the job done.
I've been studying a lot more. I don't play as much hockey now, I don't go to play shinny, and just really go to the library more often, try and focus.
Well, I've been studying off and on. I only have one exam here, and I'm actually taking courses at the university as well, so those are later than this one, so I'm focusing on my last one here.
Yeah, just keep doing what I've been doing, go through all my stuff as much as I can and spend more time in studying.
One way the college has been helping students combat final exam stress is through the Doggy De-Stress program, which will run during the final week of exams. It is scientifically proven that people-friendly pets can help reduce stress.
So Cole, when is Lethbridge College's last day of classes and when is convocation taking place?
Well, Tanya, the final day of classes is April 12th, and for the students lucky enough to cross the stage, convocation takes place on April 22nd.
Thanks, Cole.
Staff and students may not know it, but caretaking staff at Lethbridge College is undergoing a big change. After 35 years with the school, caretaking manager Perry Albert has retired. Aaron Haugen introduces Albert's replacement and takes a look back at Albert's time at the college.
Down the main hallway of the Andrews building, past the food court, across from the 1700 wing, sits an office few pay any attention to. It's here where caretaking coordinator Cheryl Hernan works to manage the cleaning staff at Lethbridge College. Having immigrated to Canada from the Philippines, Hernan originally worked as a caretaker at a hotel in Tofino on Vancouver Island. After 8 years and having worked her way up to assistant housekeeping manager, she decided to see what the rest of Canada had to offer.
We sort of tried Alberta, and we landed in Lethbridge because I really have a good friend here. And I saw the posting online and just applied, and I got lucky. I got picked.
My suggestion is you fill those 2 4-hour periods. You put a 4-hour in the library.
Since beginning in August, Hernan has not only found Lethbridge growing on her, but the idea of making a career out of working for the college, a development she says she owes to her coworkers.
I enjoy the fact that I get to be around wonderful people. The staff upstairs, all the facilities management. They have a really good relationship with each other. It's more like a family rather than workplace.
It's that kind of culture that kept her predecessor, Perry Albert, around since starting in 1981. He says the people he's worked with have left a lasting impression on him.
A lot of co-workers that were friends, some that are still here that started when I started, and that group is naturally dwindling in size as people choose to do what I've done and retire, but
Albert's tenure at the college saw the construction of many buildings on campus, including the Technologies Wing, Center Core, and PE building. As for Hernan, she hopes to be able to grow old with the college as well. For eNEWS, I'm Aaron Haugen.
Albert wore many hats in his 35 years with Lethbridge College, including caretaking manager, security manager, and parking manager.
More than 60 students from Lethbridge College were forced to deal with a disaster recently. Fortunately, it was a mock disaster, and as I found out, the skills they learned in a classroom were put to test in a more practical setting, helping them prepare for what lies ahead in their respective careers. Emergency crews, car crashes, and media are what appeared at the Lethbridge College Saturday morning. This includes the digital communications and media, criminal justice, and emergency medical technician students. Criminal justice professor Richard Huchelak says they chose a scenario that these students will face in their everyday careers.
It's going to be something they're going to face in their futures, whether it's in the media, the EMTs, the nursing people, or the police.
He adds that this is the type of activity students don't see on a regular basis, so once they arrive on scene, it can become a bit overwhelming.
You got to be in control of yourself first. Then you control your situation second. But you always have to do it in safety. Now, if you can do all those things and not lose your cool, you're learning.
Caitlin Wilson is one student who attended the disaster. She says it is a different scenario from what she's used to doing in class.
It's exciting. It's still a lot to process because it's fast paced and there's a lot going on.
She says that in school everything is more controlled and created for her. She's looking forward to those opportunities the real world will bring her.
Learning how to think on your feet and what you need to do in the moment is something that I can take from this experience and bring it with me on my practicum in similar situations.
The students were given no prior information on what the mock disaster was, but they were expected to respond in real time as if they were employed.
And so with that mock disaster, we wanted to show you just one example of how media students coped with the emergency situation. This is digital journalism student Caitlin Wilson's TV report that was written, produced within minutes of the mock disaster's conclusion.
The accident happened in the Trades Mall parking lot around 9 a.m. this morning. 2 vehicles and a motorcycle were involved in the crash. A passenger in one of the vehicles that was hit, Kara Kulak says, what started off as a day of shopping with her friends quickly turned into a tragedy.
I just heard the smash, and then that's when I turned my head and saw that they were hitting us. Because we were waiting for a parking spot. We were just looking at the motorcycle move and getting into our spot.
Police say the suspect then fled the scene. He has since been identified as 42-year-old James Roger Willis.
Police say the suspect driver of the gold SUV has been located at a local hotel. They say he was here visiting from out of the country.
He's a realtor from Sacramento, California, staying at the Telelodge Hotel.
Police also say alcohol was a factor and charges have been laid.
He's being charged with impaired driving causing death, impaired driving causing bodily injury, failed to remain at the scene of the incident.
Willis will be held in police custody and will appear in Lethbridge Provincial Court on Monday, April 4th at 10 a.m. Caitlin Wilson, eNEWS.
Again, that was a report on a mock incident, so there's no need for viewer concern. Instructors in the 3 programs received strong feedback from participating students. They say the mock disaster was a valuable experience and one that should remain an annual event. Planning for next spring's mock disaster will begin early next semester. Coming up after the break, a look at how one organisation at Lethbridge is taking steps to eliminate fear of the unknown and strengthen the community at the same time. And later, how the local fire department is helping raise cash and awareness for muscular dystrophy research. Stay with us.
Okay, when I get this reading done, I need to study for math, then time for work. Have a lot on your mind lately? 1 in 100 people are affected by schizophrenia. They know. Give up.
Listen to me.
Give up. You're an idiot.
Hey.
They know.
Listen to me.
You will fail.
Hey.
You will fail.
Listen to me.
You're an idiot. You are going to fail. There is help, and there is hope.
Youth mental health disorders are tougher lives than hospitals. Discrimination of LGBTQ youth is 3 times higher than heterosexual youth. Youth are not statistics.
It's time to break stereotypes and create opportunities for youth in safe environments and change the way we see them. The new generation, our generation.
Crime Stoppers and Lethbridge Regional Police need your help in solving a robbery. At 11:40 p.m. on September 13th, 2015, an unknown male entered the Lady Luck Lounge on 5th Street South and robbed staff at Knife Point. After taking the money from the cash register, the man left and went south. If you have any information on this or any crime, please contact Crime Stoppers by any of these methods. Standard message and data rates may apply. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 for information leading to an arrest. Remember, you will not have to attend court or testify, and you will remain anonymous. We want your information, not your name.
Welcome back. A group of students at Lethbridge College is speaking out about agriculture and food safety. The LCSA Aggies say misconceptions about GMOs and chemicals are hurting conventional farmers. Caitlin Wilson had the chance to sit down with one member of the club to find out more.
Horizons. I'm joined today by Lori Stewart, who is a member of the LCSA Aggies, the agricultural club here on campus. Lori, the club's been quite active this year in promoting the message, agriculture is my culture and Ag More Than Ever. What do these messages mean?
So Ag More Than Ever is an industry-driven organization that helps provide materials and resources for people in agriculture to get the message out. So there's over 2,000 people in Canada that are involved in this, and the message that we want to tell people is that food produced in Canada is safe.
And what are the type of things that the club has been doing to generate awareness and promote these messages?
We recently were set up at Center Core in Lethbridge College, and we were there all week. We had a couple baby lambs, 21 chicks, so we were bringing lots of people in with the baby animals and just starting the conversation, giving away some material about agriculture, and just really trying to start the conversation that Canadian grown food is safe.
And we talked a little bit earlier, and you had mentioned that there's some challenges about going out into the community and spreading your message. Can you talk a little bit about this?
So there's lots of myths about agriculture online, and it makes it difficult in some cases to put club members out into the community, because if you have someone that's believing those myths, they get really angry. And so we've kind of taken the route of, we're not trying to change anyone's opinion, we're just trying to provide facts, dispel myths, and just let everyone know that Canadian food is indeed very safe.
Well, thanks for joining us today. That's all the time we have for Campus Horizons. See you next time.
In other local news, tragedy in Lethbridge earlier this week. Flames raced through 3 homes Wednesday night in the westside community of Sundance. Emergency crews responded to a call just before 7 where they found 2 homes fully engulfed. Firefighters say a strong wind carried flames to the 3rd home. Deputy Fire Chief Dana Terry says firefighters did their best to contain both the flames and damage, but other several homes were damaged. Terry says the cause of the blaze isn't known, however, investigation continues.
One local family is trying to raise awareness of a disease that affects around 300,000 Canadians, including their 5-year-old son. Epilepsy is a disease that causes excessive electrical impulses in the brain, resulting in seizures. It doesn't discriminate by age, race, or sex, and it can change the lives of victims and their families forever. I had the opportunity to spend some time with this family to find out more about their heartbreaking plight. Swinging the day away with his brother and mum are some of 5-year-old Tristan Smith's favourite things to do. While today is a good day for fun in his backyard, days like this can be few and far in between. Tristan suffers from epilepsy, a condition that causes him to have multiple seizures a day. Tristan's seizures can come in a few different forms and range in severity. The most common type he suffers is one you're seeing now, a myoclonic tonic seizure. Tristan's seizures can come in multiples and his episodes can last for minutes at a time.
You okay? It's okay. Just a seizure. You're okay, right?
For Tristan's mum, seeing her son in pain and not knowing what the future holds has been an emotional roller coaster.
You don't actually want to look at the side effects on epilepsy medications because at first you're terrified to try anything because of what it could be, and then you get to the point where like we need to find something that works because the seizures can be more damaging than anything else, and they always tell you you have to weigh out the side effects versus the repercussions of not doing anything about it.
These cells are not...
Dr. Brian Kolb is a professor and researcher at the University of Lethbridge's Neuroscience Department. Dr. Kolb's research looks at the factors that affect brain development and explains what happens to the brain in a generalized seizure.
So the seizure might start here initially, and you wouldn't notice anything, and then it would get, next time you wouldn't notice anything, and then it's getting bigger and bigger, and then it spreads to the opposite side of the brain, and what you end up with is with two places where the seizure can originate now.
For the Smith family, finding an effective treatment for Tristan has been a struggle. After being rushed to the Alberta Children's Hospital and having a 2-week stay, they finally found something that works for Tristan. He now suffers less seizures than before and even got to hang out with a few of his favourite superheroes.
Remember when we were at the hospital and we got to meet the Avengers? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was fun, wasn't it?
The Smiths hope by sharing Tristan's story, they can raise awareness of epilepsy and help dissolve the stigma that surrounds the disease. In the meantime, Tristan says he's happy just to keep on trucking. Megan Williams, eNEWS. The Smiths recently held a fundraiser in support of epilepsy awareness, which netted $2,000. The money will go to the Epilepsy Association of Calgary.
Several Lethbridge firefighters spent last weekend camped out on a rooftop to raise money for muscular dystrophy. People in the community came by to show their support to make donations. Sarah Redekop has more.
This boot is ringing because it's one leg up on finding a cure. These 5 firefighters moved onto the Hudson's Canadian Tap House roof to raise money for Muscular Dystrophy Canada. Over the course of the 4 days, members of the community were invited to stop by and make a donation. People were able to put their donation in a boot, which was then hoisted up to the firefighters. Firefighter Jarrett Fowler says Muscular Dystrophy Canada is the group's charity of choice.
It's our hopes, like in our lifetime, that through this fundraising that we'll be able to find a cure for muscular dystrophy one day, because there is no cure for it right now.
Muscular dystrophy is a neuromuscular disorder that results in muscle wasting, weakness, and loss of function. People with the disorder experience frequent falls, difficulty walking, and limited range of movement. Fowler says through their fundraiser, he's met members of the community who are affected by muscular dystrophy. He says it's important to him to help them out.
The money that's raised goes towards buying them mobility equipment, research, and stuff like that, just to help them out with their daily lives.
Thank you so much. My husband and I both really love just getting involved and giving back to our community as well.
This was their second year putting on the event at Hudson's. Fowler says it's a good location because it's visible being right downtown. Their goal this year was to raise $15,000. For eNEWS, I'm Sarah Redekop.
The International Association of Firefighters Union has supported Muscular Dystrophy Canada since 1954. Since then, firefighters across North America have raised about $500 million for the cause.
Aspiring teachers say they may have a difficult job finding full-time employment in their field of choice. Students in the U of L's Faculty of Education say school boards are awarding fewer full-time contracts, and the Alberta Teachers Association collective agreement with the provincial government is about to expire. Halen Cooper reports.
As the bell tolls on the Alberta Teachers Framework Agreement, education students might have a difficult time finding teaching positions. Due to economic instability and expecting a large deficit in 2016's budget, some Albertans suggest to cut teacher salaries and end new hirings. As a future educator, this U of L education student noticed teaching is not the only profession under fire.
You'd think that education and health would be the last things that they would target to make those kind of cuts or make those kind of negative decisions. I mean, if anything, education and health should be the main things, the main priorities of the Canadian public.
Webster's classmate says she can't understand how people can trust the quality of learning if education aid was reduced even further.
If teachers are already burning out after like 5 years and now you reduce their wages even more, like they have even less motivation to like put in the extra time.
As she prepares for her last semester and final practicum, the thought of the discontinuation of hiring new teachers worries Webster.
If there's not going to be any jobs available, then we're out of the job. And then we went to school for 5, 6, 7 years for what?
With the framework agreement expiring later this summer, Education Minister David Eggen assured Albertans that he is committed to supporting students and kindergarten to grade 12 education by announcing a $51 million investment and by having helped create 740 new positions last year. For eNEWS, I'm Halen Cooper.
The Alberta Teachers Association and Notley Government have begun preparing to discuss the new terms and conditions of the framework agreement set to expire on August 31st.
Get your shorts and t-shirts out, that's a hint. Here's the weather forecast for this week.
I'm Amanda Horrocks, and this is your 5-day Southern Alberta weather forecast. On Monday, you'll see a little bit of cloud, a high of 17 and a low of 8. Tuesday, a beautiful day, sun and a high of 20. Wednesday, we'll see a little bit of rain, a high of 20 and a low of 5. Thursday, cloudy and a high of 12. Friday, for all your studying needs, there'll be a little bit of rain so you can stay inside and get good grades, with a high of 13 and a low of 3. I'm Amanda Horrocks, and that's your 5-day Southern Alberta weather forecast.
Thanks, Amanda. Coming up after the break, a few tips and tricks for new graduates entering the workforce, and how the Lethbridge Steel prepares for the upcoming women's football season.
Hey man, how's classes been?
Pretty rough, man. I've been feeling really depressed lately.
Oh. Well, I gotta run though, so I'll see you later.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh, nice man.
If you or someone you know is suffering from mental health issues, call 403-329-4775 for help.
The annual Kodiak's 4 road race will have members of our community hitting the pavement for a run this Saturday. Sarah Redekop sat down with a Kodiak's cross-country runner to find how this event helps out their team.
Hi and welcome to this week's edition of the Kodiak Report. My name is Sarah Redekop and I'm here with Carlos Mena. Carlos is a member of the cross-country team for the college, and he's also helping organize the 43rd annual 10-4 Kodiak's race this weekend. So Carlos, this is a pretty significant event to the college. Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I can try. It's just a big event that we hold every year. Like you said, it's the 43rd event. It's pretty important as far as kind of the running team and the college in general, kind of being in touch with the community. So it's a really fun race. Like a lot of people from locally, there's I think some people that come a little bit out of town just to run it. And it's just kind of a good fun way of people getting out there, just seeing what they can do with their bodies, whether they're super novice runners or really experienced runners, and just kind of going out to have fun.
And so there's a 10-kilometer race and a 4-kilometer race that happen, and then is there any other events that take place?
In between, not really. They're just kind of everyone gets settled in. after the race to just enjoy some snacks, water. A lot of either the track or cross-country team or the other runners kind of just introduce each other to themselves, kind of rewarding themselves for the hard work they did for the day.
Perfect. And then all the money that's raised goes to fund the cross-country team?
Yeah, it helps us out with all our expenses as far as like scholarship-wise, what we need for travel, the coaching staff as well, and just kind of the resources that they need to kind of make us a better team and keep doing what we're doing.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Carlos.
No problem.
And thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the Kodiak Report.
The Kodiak's Road Race is Lethbridge's oldest ongoing running event. Runners are able to participate in a 4 or 10-mile race.
A group of women have hit the field in a bid to push and shove their way to a championship. The women's tackle football team has started practicing and is hoping for a strong season. Jonathan Gignard is standing by to tackle this story. John?
The Lethbridge Steel are looking to juke their way around opponents this season. The Steel play host to the championships this year and are excited to get things started. These women have snapped back into competition as they get ready for a new season of women's football. The Steel is entering its 6th season with the Western Women's Canadian Football League. Players say leadership is strong and will be a key factor in the team's success.
Probably 90% of our team this year are vets who are returning players. I think that'll definitely give us the upper hand. We have girls knowing what they're doing and being able to help coach the girls who are just learning as well.
Head coach Kessie Stefanik agrees and says there is a good mix of experience and youth.
I think our experience and our athleticism this year, we have a lot of our new recruits are very athletic.
After reaching the finals for 3 years in a row, the Steel went 2-2 last season and didn't qualify for the playoffs. However, expectations for this season remain high.
I'm hoping that our hard work pays off this year. We have the championship game this year, end of June. So it would be nice to definitely be playing in that game.
I expect nothing but the best from them, so I think we can do it this year, that's for sure.
These women are balancing football with everyday life. Their hard work isn't going unnoticed.
A lot of these women have children, they have jobs, they're going to school, those sorts of things. And the dedication they have to this team is, I mean, the best I've ever experienced, that's for sure.
The bond between players is something that stands out.
Everyone's always there for each other, whether it's on the field or off the field. It's just a really good group of girls.
The Steel will head to Edmonton this weekend to kick off their official spring training. The Steel's regular season kicks off in Calgary on May 7th with a game against the Rage.
John, when can we plan to see the Lethbridge Steel play, and how do we go about finding tickets?
The Steel play their first home game on May 14th at the University of Lethbridge. Tickets can be purchased at the gate.
Thank you, John.
Before we go today, finding a job can be a struggle, even for students that have graduated from post-secondary education. So Nevin Soretta seeks to help with 5 tips to help you land your dream job.
With graduation right around the corner, many college grads are going to be looking for that perfect job. Here are the top 5 tips for looking for a job once you have graduated. Number 1, start making connections to businesses and areas that are in your field of study. There is no better way to get your name out than having connections with the higher-ups. Number 2, give your cover letter and resume something that will make it stand out to other applicants. Add information into both that directly relate to the job that you are applying for, which make you seem like the better fit for the job. Number 3, clean up your online presence. This means going through and getting rid of any posts on social media which could affect your chance of getting a job. Number 4, explore your options. Look around at different opportunities that there are in your field. Once you find that perfect spot, go for it. And finally, number 5, if you don't get that dream job, widen your knowledge in different areas. The more you know could help you find a job in your industry later on down the road. To all of you graduating from post-secondary this year, I wish you all the best in your future and the best of luck with finding your dream job.
Thanks, Nevin. That's all the time we have here today. I'm Tanya Plain Eagle.
And I'm Megan Williams. For all of us here at eNEWS, have a great weekend.